Do you often feel stressed or overwhelmed by things you can't control? Do you find yourself hurt by other people's words or actions? Are you stuck in a cycle of frustration and anxiety, wishing for more peace and control over your life? What if the habits causing you this pain are the opposite of what Stoicism teaches? What if by simply removing them, you could find more peace, strength, and control over your life? Imagine a life where outside events no longer disturb your peace, where other people's opinions have no power over your happiness, where every challenge becomes an opportunity for growth. Doesn't that sound liberating? You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius faced wars, betrayals, and unimaginable challenges, yet he remained calm and strong because he understood one simple truth: control your mind, and nothing can disturb you. Welcome to According to Stoicism. Today we're diving deep into 10 anti-Stoic habits that silently drain your mental strength and disturb your peace of mind. These habits are the exact opposite of what Stoicism teaches. They keep you trapped in unnecessary worries, emotional reactions, and constant stress. But once you learn to spot and remove them, you'll feel more in control, more resilient, and more at peace, just like the great Stoics. But why should you care about Stoicism? Why should you bother removing these habits? Because Stoicism isn't about becoming cold or emotionless. It's about mastering your emotions so they don't master you. It's about freeing yourself from needless suffering and finding strength in every situation. I used to get upset over things I couldn't control: traffic, other people's opinions, even the weather. It made me anxious and frustrated all the time. But when I discovered Stoicism, everything changed. I learned that my reactions were my choice. I learned to focus only on what I could control. And suddenly, life became simpler, lighter, and so much more peaceful. In this video, we will explore 10 anti-Stoic habits that are secretly holding you back. Habits that Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus warned against thousands of years ago. Habits that, if not removed, will keep you stuck in a cycle of stress, anger, and frustration. Stress, anger, frustration. These are the enemies of peace. But if you have the courage to face these habits and remove them, you'll gain more peace, wisdom, and strength than you ever thought possible. We'll reveal why complaining is poison for your mind, why seeking approval is the enemy of freedom, and why overthinking is silently stealing your happiness. This video isn't just about learning Stoicism. It's about transforming your life. It's about becoming mentally strong and unshakable. It's about finding peace, no matter what life throws at you. Change your thoughts, change your life. Let's begin this journey to remove the anti-Stoic habits holding you back. Habit 1. Complaining about things you can't control. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to complain about things that are completely out of your control? Traffic jams, bad weather, or someone's rude behavior. These are all common triggers. But does complaining about them change anything? Does venting about the rain make the sun come out? Does grumbling about traffic make it move faster? Of course not. Yet we waste so much time and energy on complaints, leaving ourselves stressed and unhappy. Epictetus once said, "The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have." This is a powerful reminder that every time you complain about something you can't control, you give it power over you. You allow it to dictate your emotions and ruin your peace of mind. But here's the truth. You can't control the world, but you can control how you respond to it. Complaining is like fighting reality. You resist what is, hoping it will change just because you're unhappy about it. But the world doesn't bend to our complaints. Traffic won't move just because you're late. The weather won't change because you forgot your umbrella. And people won't suddenly become considerate just because you're frustrated. Complaining keeps you trapped in a cycle of negativity, robbing you of your inner peace. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and a great Stoic philosopher, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He faced wars, betrayals, and even a deadly plague, yet he did not waste his energy on complaints. Why? Because he understood that complaining changes nothing. It's your mindset that makes all the difference. Think about it. When was the last time complaining actually solved a problem? Did it fix the traffic jam or make the weather better? Complaining is not about solving issues, it's about venting frustration. But this venting has a cost. It keeps you focused on the negative, making you feel helpless and bitter. It also affects those around you, spreading negativity like a virus. Nobody likes to be around someone who's constantly complaining. It drains the energy out of every conversation. So, what's the solution? The Stoic answer is simple. Focus on what you can control and let go of the rest. You can't control the traffic, but you can control how you spend that time. Maybe by listening to an educational podcast or practicing deep breathing to stay calm. You can't change the weather, but you can choose to dress appropriately and carry an umbrella. And you definitely can't control other people's behavior, but you can control your own reaction. Epictetus taught his students to distinguish between what is in their control and what is not. He said, "Happiness and freedom begin with a clear understanding of one principle. Some things are within our control, and some things are not." This is the essence of Stoic wisdom. When you understand this, you stop wasting energy on complaints and start focusing on solutions. Imagine how much more peaceful your life would be if you let go of everything you can't control. No more frustration about the traffic, no more irritation about the weather, and no more resentment towards people who don't meet your expectations. You would feel lighter, calmer, and more in control. This is the power of acceptance. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up or being passive. It means seeing reality for what it is and responding wisely. Instead of complaining about the rain, you learn to dance in it, or at least stay dry. Instead of cursing the traffic, you use the time to learn something new. Acceptance turns obstacles into opportunities. It transforms frustration into growth. Marcus Aurelius wisely noted, "Reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears." This means that most of our suffering comes not from external events, but from how we interpret them. If you stop seeing bad weather or traffic as an injustice, they lose their power to upset you. You become free from their influence. Breaking the habit of complaining is not easy, but it's worth it. It requires constant awareness and effort. The next time you catch yourself complaining, stop and ask, "Can I control this situation?" If the answer is no, then let it go. If the answer is yes, then take action. This simple shift in mindset can change your life. Start small. Notice the little things you complain about every day. Is it the long line at the coffee shop? Is it the slow internet connection? Or maybe it's the noise your neighbor makes. Whatever it is, pause and reflect. Ask yourself, does complaining about this help me in any way? Most of the time, the answer will be no. And once you realize that, you can consciously choose to let it go. Epictetus reminded us, "People are not disturbed by things, but by the views they take of them." This means that events are neutral. It's our interpretation that gives them meaning. By changing your perspective, you can free yourself from frustration and anger. When you stop complaining, you regain control over your mind. You stop being a victim of circumstances and become the master of your own thoughts. You cultivate resilience and inner peace. You strengthen your character and inspire others to do the same. Imagine a life without complaints, a life where nothing external can disturb your peace, where you remain calm and composed no matter what happens. This is the Stoic ideal. It's not about being indifferent, but about being wise enough to know what's worth your energy. So, the next time you're tempted to complain, remember the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus. Remember that you have power over your mind, not outside events. And in that power lies your freedom. Choose wisely. Choose peace. Choose not to complain. This is how you break the habit of complaining about things you can't control. This is how you live a Stoic life. Habit 2. Seeking approval from others. Do you often find yourself worrying about what others think of you? Do you change your actions or words just to fit in or get approval? If so, you're not alone. Many people live their lives trying to please others, seeking validation and acceptance. But here's the truth. The more you chase approval, the more you lose yourself. You become a prisoner of others' opinions, never truly free to be who you are. The Stoics understood this well. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. Why do we allow others to dictate our worth? Why do we let their judgments control our happiness?" The answer lies in our deep desire to belong, to feel accepted. But the cost of this approval seeking is high. It takes away your freedom and makes you dependent on others for validation. Imagine how exhausting it is to constantly adjust yourself to please everyone. You wear masks, hide your true thoughts, and live a life that isn't yours. All for what? A few words of praise or a nod of approval? But no matter how hard you try, you can never satisfy everyone. People's opinions are fickle and constantly changing. One moment they like you, the next they don't. Building your self-worth on such unstable ground is a recipe for misery. Epictetus taught, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." This means that personal growth often requires going against the crowd, taking risks, and being misunderstood. If you live for others' approval, you'll never take these risks. You'll stay in your comfort zone, avoiding criticism and failure. But growth happens outside this zone. It happens when you're brave enough to be yourself, regardless of others' opinions. Seeking approval also makes you vulnerable to manipulation. When people know you crave their validation, they can easily control you. They can praise you to get what they want, or criticize you to make you feel insecure. In both cases, you lose your power. You become a puppet, dancing to the tune of others' judgments. The Stoics believed that true freedom comes from within. Seneca said, "What difference does it make, after all, what your position in life is, if you dislike it yourself?" In other words, no amount of approval will make you happy if you're not true to yourself. You must learn to live by your own values, not by others' expectations. So, how do you break the habit of seeking approval? Start by realizing that people's opinions are just that, opinions. They are reflections of their own beliefs, experiences, and insecurities. They are not facts. Just because someone thinks poorly of you doesn't make it true. Similarly, just because someone praises you doesn't mean you're flawless. Their views are about them, not you. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "I have often wondered how it is that every man loves himself more than all the rest of men, but yet sets less value on his own opinion of himself than on the opinion of others." This is the key. Value your own judgment. Trust yourself. Know who you are and what you stand for. When you are confident in your values, you don't need others to validate you. You become self-sufficient and free. Of course, this doesn't mean you should ignore all feedback. Constructive criticism helps you grow, but there's a difference between learning from others and living for their approval. Accept feedback with an open mind, but always stay true to your core values. The next time you catch yourself seeking approval, pause and reflect. Ask yourself, am I doing this because it's true to who I am, or just to please others? If the answer is the latter, have the courage to stop. Don't let fear of judgment control you. Remember, people will always have opinions, but only you can decide how much they matter. As Epictetus wisely said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." When you stop seeking approval, you reclaim your freedom. You live authentically, guided by your own principles, not by others' expectations. You find peace within yourself, no longer needing external validation. Break this habit, and you will discover a new level of confidence and independence. You will live a life true to who you are, not a life shaped by others' opinions. This is the Stoic way. Habit 3. Getting easily offended. Do you find yourself getting upset over small comments or actions? Do you often feel disrespected or hurt by others' words? If so, you might be falling into the habit of getting easily offended. This habit can steal your peace and give others power over your emotions. But here's the truth. No one can offend you without your permission. It's not the words or actions that hurt you. It's your reaction to them. The Stoics understood this well. Epictetus taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This means that events themselves are neutral. It's our interpretation of them that causes us pain. If you get offended, it's because you've chosen to take things personally. But why give others so much control over your mood? Why allow their words to disturb your peace? When you get easily offended, you become a slave to others' opinions. Every comment, every look, and every action has the power to ruin your day. You give others the remote control to your emotions, letting them decide when you feel happy or upset. But this isn't real freedom. Real freedom comes from emotional independence, from choosing how you respond, no matter what others say or do. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been." It sounds simple, but it's powerful. Offense is a choice. If you decide not to take things personally, nothing can hurt you. This doesn't mean you should tolerate disrespect. It means you can acknowledge rudeness without letting it affect your peace. Getting easily offended also drains your energy. You spend hours replaying conversations in your head, thinking about what you should have said. You hold grudges, letting bitterness consume you. But the truth is, most people don't even realize they've offended you. They go on with their lives while you carry the burden of anger and resentment. Seneca wisely said, "A wise man is untouched by insult, as a rock by the sea and a mountain by the wind." The Stoics believed that insults only hurt if you allow them to. If someone calls you a fool, you have two choices. You can get angry and prove them right, or you can stay calm and prove them wrong. The power lies in your response. Why do we get offended in the first place? It often comes from ego. We expect others to treat us a certain way, to respect us and agree with us. When they don't, we feel insulted. But this expectation is unrealistic. People see the world through their own lens, shaped by their experiences and beliefs. Expecting them to always understand or agree with you is setting yourself up for disappointment. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This means that while you can't control what people say or do, you can control how you interpret it. You can choose to see criticism as feedback, insults as a reflection of the other person's character, and disagreements as a chance to learn. Breaking the habit of getting easily offended starts with shifting your perspective. First, remind yourself that not everything is about you. Sometimes people are rude because they're having a bad day or dealing with their own issues. Their behavior says more about them than it does about you. Don't take it personally. Second, practice emotional resilience. When someone offends you, pause before reacting. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, is this worth my peace? Most of the time, it isn't. Responding calmly not only protects your mood, but also disarms the other person. It shows them that their words have no power over you. Lastly, strengthen your self-worth. People who know their value don't get easily offended. They are confident in who they are and don't need others' validation. They understand that an insult is just noise, meaningless words that have no impact on their worth. Epictetus advised, "Remember, it is not enough to be hit or insulted to be harmed. You must believe that you are being harmed." When you stop taking things personally, you break free from emotional chains. You become unshakable, no longer affected by others' opinions. This is the power of Stoicism. Imagine how much lighter and happier your life would be if you stopped getting offended. You would save time and energy, focus on things that truly matter, and live peacefully. You would no longer be at the mercy of others' words or actions. You would be free. So, the next time someone says something offensive, remember, it's just words. You decide what meaning to give them. You decide whether to take them to heart or let them go. Choose wisely, and you'll discover the strength to rise above petty insults. This is the Stoic way. Habit 4. Overthinking the past or future. Do you find yourself replaying past events over and over again? Do you worry about the future and imagine the worst possible outcomes? If so, you're trapped in the habit of overthinking. This habit can rob you of peace and keep you stuck in an endless cycle of regret and anxiety. But the truth is, the past is gone, and the future hasn't happened yet. The only moment you truly have is now. The Stoics understood this well. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." This powerful advice reminds us that overthinking is a waste of time and energy. You can't change the past, no matter how much you dwell on it. And worrying about the future only ruins your present. Why carry the burden of what's already done or what hasn't happened yet? When you overthink the past, you're reliving moments that no longer exist. You torture yourself with regrets, wishing you could go back and do things differently. But no amount of thinking can change what's already happened. Epictetus wisely said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Instead of dwelling on past mistakes, learn from them. Use them to grow wiser and stronger. Overthinking the future is just as harmful. You imagine worst-case scenarios, fearing things that might never happen. You spend hours worrying about problems that don't exist yet. This creates unnecessary stress and anxiety. But the future is not within your control. As Seneca said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Most of the things you worry about will never come true. Why suffer twice, once in your mind and again if it actually happens? The habit of overthinking also robs you of happiness. You're so busy regretting the past or fearing the future that you miss out on the present moment. You forget to appreciate what you have right now. You miss the beauty of life happening around you. But life is only lived in the present. The past is a memory, and the future is just an idea. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "Do not let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present." This means that whatever challenges await you, you'll deal with them when they come. You don't need to worry about them now. Trust yourself to handle things as they arise. Why do we fall into the trap of overthinking? It's often because we seek certainty. We want to be sure of what happened or what will happen. But life is uncertain, and no amount of thinking can change that. The Stoics embraced this uncertainty. They focused only on what they could control: their thoughts, actions, and attitudes. Everything else they accepted as it was. Epictetus taught, "Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens." You can't change the past, and you can't predict the future. But you can control how you respond right now. You can choose to let go of regrets and worries. You can choose to live fully in the present moment. Breaking the habit of overthinking starts with awareness. Notice when your mind is trapped in the past or future. Remind yourself that these thoughts are just illusions. They're not real. They only have power if you give them attention. Choose to return to the present moment. Focus on what's happening right now, right in front of you. Practice mindfulness. Pay attention to your senses, what you see, hear, feel, and smell. This grounds you in the present. When your mind starts to wander, gently bring it back. This takes practice, but over time, it becomes easier. You'll learn to control your thoughts instead of letting them control you. Another powerful tool is gratitude. When you feel trapped in regrets or worries, take a moment to appreciate what you have now. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present. It helps you see the good in your life and reminds you that this moment is enough. Seneca advised, "Begin at once to live and count each separate day as a separate life." This means letting go of yesterday and not worrying about tomorrow. Today is all you have. Make the most of it. Don't waste it on thoughts that steal your peace. Imagine how much lighter and happier your life would be without overthinking. You'd have more energy, less stress, and greater focus. You'd enjoy the present moment instead of being haunted by the past or fearing the future. You'd live fully, embracing each day as it comes. The Stoics mastered the art of living in the present. They understood that true peace comes from accepting what is and letting go of what isn't. You can do the same. The next time your mind starts to dwell on the past or worry about the future, remember, you only have now. Choose to be present, and you'll find the freedom you've been looking for. This is the Stoic way. Habit 5. Blaming others for your problems. Do you find yourself pointing fingers when things go wrong? Do you blame others for your stress, failures, or bad luck? This habit is more common than you think, but blaming others keeps you stuck. It takes away your power to change your life. The Stoics knew this well. They believed that true strength comes from taking full responsibility for your actions and emotions. Epictetus once said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This means that no matter what someone else does, Your response is your choice. When you blame others, you give them control over your happiness. You become a victim of circumstances. But if you take responsibility for your reactions, you take back your power. You decide how you feel and what you do next. Blaming others is easy. It feels good to shift the responsibility, but it's a trap. When you blame someone else, you give up your ability to grow and learn. You stop looking for solutions because you're too busy playing the victim. But as Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Life isn't fair and people will hurt you. But how long will you let them control your emotions? How long will you allow others to dictate your happiness? The Stoics teach us that we are responsible for our own state of mind. You can't control what others do, but you can control how you respond. This is where true freedom lies. Blaming others also leads to resentment and anger. You keep replaying the hurtful event in your mind, feeling bitter and powerless. But Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Why let anger consume you? Why give someone that much control over your peace of mind? Let go of blame, and you let go of pain. When you blame others, you also deny your own role in the situation. You avoid looking at your mistakes, choices, or actions that contributed to the problem. But ignoring your responsibility means you can't learn or grow from it. Seneca said, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." Every problem is an opportunity for growth, if you're willing to face it. Taking responsibility doesn't mean blaming yourself or feeling guilty. It means owning your choices and learning from them. It means asking, what can I do to change this? Or, how can I respond better next time? It's about taking control of your own destiny instead of waiting for others to change. The Stoics believed in focusing only on what you can control, your thoughts, actions, and attitudes. Everything else, including other people's actions, is outside your control. When you accept this, you stop blaming others. You stop expecting them to act a certain way. You start taking charge of your own life. Imagine how empowering this can be. When you stop blaming others, you stop feeling like a victim. You realize that no matter what happens, you can always control your response. You can always choose your attitude. This is real strength. This is how you take back control of your life. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Instead of blaming others, focus on your own actions. Focus on becoming the best version of yourself, no matter what others do. Take responsibility for your emotions, choices, and life. The habit of blaming others keeps you stuck in the past. It keeps you focused on problems instead of solutions. But when you take responsibility, you move forward. You learn from mistakes. You grow stronger and wiser. You become the author of your own story. Breaking this habit isn't easy. It takes humility and courage. It means letting go of excuses and facing your own flaws. But it's worth it. When you stop blaming others, you free yourself from resentment and anger. You become a better person, a stronger person. You become more stoic. The next time you're tempted to blame someone else, pause. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Or how can I respond better? Shift your focus from blame to responsibility. Remember Epictetus's words, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Master yourself, and no one can control your happiness. This is the Stoic way. Habit 6. Constantly comparing yourself to others. Do you find yourself scrolling through social media, feeling jealous of other people's achievements, looks, or lifestyles? Do you measure your worth by how you stack up against others. Comparing yourself to others is a habit that steals your joy and peace. It traps you in a cycle of envy and dissatisfaction. The Stoics warned against this because they knew it leads to misery. Epictetus wisely said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." In other words, focus on your own growth and don't worry about what others think or do. The problem with comparing yourself to others is that you're measuring yourself by standards that are not yours. You're letting others decide your worth, and that's dangerous. When you compare yourself to others, you forget your own journey. You forget that everyone's path is different. You see their success, but you don't see their struggles. You see their victories, but not their failures. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "Look within. Within is the fountain of good, and it will ever bubble up if you will ever dig." Everything you need to be happy is within you, not outside. This habit of comparison creates envy and insecurity. You focus on what you don't have instead of being grateful for what you do. You feel less worthy because someone else seems more successful or happier. But Seneca warned, "It is the power of the mind to be unconquerable." Your mind can either free you or imprison you. If you constantly compare, you become a prisoner of envy. The truth is, there will always be someone smarter, richer, or more talented. If you keep comparing, you'll never be satisfied. The Stoics believed in focusing only on what you can control. Can you control other people's success? Can you control your own efforts and growth? Absolutely. So why waste energy on things you can't control? Comparing yourself to others also leads to fake living. You start doing things just to impress people, not because they make you happy. You buy things you don't need, chase goals that aren't yours, and live a life that isn't authentic. This is exhausting and unfulfilling. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Live according to your values, not someone else's standards." The habit of comparison blinds you to your own progress. You get so focused on others that you fail to see how far you've come. You forget to celebrate your own wins because you're busy chasing someone else's life. But no two journeys are the same. Your path is yours alone. Appreciate it, learn from it, and grow from it. How do you break this habit? Start by practicing gratitude. Focus on what you have instead of what you lack. Count your blessings and recognize your unique strengths. Epictetus said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." When you are content with what you have, you become immune to envy. Also, limit your exposure to triggers. If social media makes you feel inadequate, take a break. Remember, people only show their highlights, not their struggles. You're comparing your behind the scenes to their best moments. This is unfair and unrealistic. Another way to stop comparing is by setting your own standards. Define your own version of success and happiness. Ask yourself, what truly matters to me? When you measure yourself by your own values, you stop caring about other people's opinions. You live more authentically and peacefully. The Stoics believed in self-mastery. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." If you constantly compare, you fill your mind with envy and dissatisfaction. But if you focus on your growth, you feel empowered and content. Finally, remember that everyone has their own struggles. The person you envy might be facing challenges you know nothing about. Be kind to yourself and others. Celebrate other people's successes without feeling less about yourself. Life is not a competition, it's a journey. Breaking the habit of comparison isn't easy. It takes practice and self-awareness. But once you stop comparing, you start living. You appreciate your own journey, learn from your experiences, and grow at your own pace. You find peace within yourself. The next time you catch yourself comparing, pause. Remind yourself of Epictetus's wisdom. Don't seek for everything to happen as you wish it would, but rather wish that everything happens as it actually will. Then your life will flow well. Accept your journey, embrace your growth, and live according to your values. This is the Stoic way. Habit 7. Reacting emotionally to criticism. Do you get angry or upset when someone criticizes you? Do you feel hurt when people don't agree with you or point out your flaws? Reacting emotionally to criticism is a habit that robs you of peace and self-control. It gives power to others over your feelings. The Stoics believed that criticism is just an opinion, not a fact. It only hurts if you let it. Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth." This shows that criticism can be a tool for growth. If someone points out a mistake, see it as a chance to learn and improve. But if the criticism is unfair or meant to hurt, don't take it personally. Their words reflect them, not you. The problem with reacting emotionally is that it clouds your judgment. When you get angry or defensive, you stop listening. You focus on protecting your ego instead of understanding the message. Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Criticism, by itself, has no power. It's your reaction that gives it power. Why do we react emotionally to criticism? Because of ego and insecurity. We tie our worth to other people's opinions. We believe that if someone criticizes us, we are less valuable. But this is not true. Your worth does not depend on others. It comes from within. You are the same person, whether praised or criticized. The Stoics taught us to separate facts from opinions. If someone says you're lazy, that's just their opinion. It doesn't make it true. Ask yourself, is there any truth in this criticism? If yes, use it to grow. If no, let it go. Don't let someone's opinion ruin your peace. Seneca advised, "What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears." Life is too short to be upset over opinions. Emotional reactions to criticism also make you vulnerable. When people know they can upset you, they have power over you. They can control your mood and actions. But if you stay calm and rational, they lose that power. You remain in control of yourself. This is true strength. So, how do you break this habit? Start by changing how you see criticism. See it as feedback, not an attack. If it's constructive, learn from it. If it's destructive, ignore it. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. You can't control people's opinions, but you can control how you respond. Practice pausing before reacting. When criticized, don't respond right away. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, is this criticism true? Is it useful? This pause helps you respond logically, not emotionally. It gives you time to decide if the criticism deserves your attention. Also, don't take things personally. Most criticism comes from people's own issues, not yours. They might be projecting their insecurities onto you. Seneca noted, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Sometimes it's not the criticism that hurts, but the meaning you attach to it. Change your perspective, and the pain disappears. Another powerful way to handle criticism is to develop humility. Accept that you are not perfect. You will make mistakes. You will have flaws. This is part of being human. When you accept this, criticism loses its sting. It no longer feels like an attack, but a reminder that you're still growing. Epictetus said, "If evil be spoken of you, and it be true, correct yourself. If it be a lie, laugh at it. If criticism is true, use it to improve. If it's false, don't waste energy on it." You don't need to defend yourself against lies. Truth stands on its own. Lastly, surround yourself with people who give honest and constructive feedback. Seek mentors who help you grow, not flatterers who only tell you what you want to hear. Learn to value truth over praise. This helps you build resilience and wisdom. Reacting emotionally to criticism is normal, but it's a habit you can break. It starts with changing your mindset. See criticism as a tool for growth, not a threat to your ego. Accept that not everyone will like you, and that's okay. Your value is not defined by others. Next time someone criticizes you, remember Marcus Aurelius's words. Receive without pride, let go without attachment. Don't let praise inflate your ego or criticism break your spirit. Stay balanced, stay strong. This is the Stoic way. Habit 8. Neglecting self-discipline. Self-discipline is the backbone of success and inner peace. Yet many people neglect it, choosing comfort over growth. They procrastinate, give in to temptations, and avoid hard work. But without self-discipline, dreams remain just dreams. The Stoics knew this well. They believed that true freedom comes from mastering yourself, not your surroundings. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." If you can't control your actions, desires, and thoughts, you are a slave to them. Think about it. How often do you put off important tasks because you don't feel like doing them? How often do you break promises to yourself? Every time you give in to laziness or temptation, you weaken your willpower. This leads to regrets and a lack of progress. Neglecting self-discipline is easy because it feels good in the moment. Watching one more episode, eating junk food, or skipping the workout seems harmless. But these small choices add up. They become habits that shape your life. Marcus Aurelius warned, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Self-discipline is about taking control of your mind. It's about choosing long-term gains over short-term pleasures. Why do people neglect self-discipline? Because it's uncomfortable. It requires effort, patience, and sacrifice. But Stoicism teaches that discomfort is not a bad thing. In fact, it's necessary for growth. Seneca said, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult." When you avoid discomfort, you also avoid growth. You stay in your comfort zone, but nothing good grows there. The Stoics believed in training the mind through self-discipline. They practiced voluntary discomfort to build mental toughness. They took cold baths, fasted, and slept on hard surfaces to teach themselves that they could handle discomfort. This made them strong and resilient. They learned that suffering is not in the discomfort itself, but in the fear of it. Imagine how different your life would be if you mastered self-discipline. You would pursue your goals without excuses. You would finish what you start. You would be consistent even when you don't feel motivated. This consistency builds trust in yourself. You become reliable, not just to others, but also to yourself. Epictetus taught, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." Self-discipline is about aligning your actions with your goals. It's about doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. This doesn't mean being hard on yourself or never resting. It means having the wisdom to know when to push and when to rest. The cost of neglecting self-discipline is high. It leads to wasted time, lost opportunities, and unfulfilled potential. It creates a life of chaos and regret. When you don't control your impulses, they control you. You become reactive instead of proactive. You live by default, not by design. To break this habit, start small. Build discipline through daily routines. Wake up at the same time, exercise regularly, and stick to your schedule. These small acts of discipline strengthen your willpower. They build momentum. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Don't just plan and dream. Act. Discipline is built through action, not thoughts. Also, learn to delay gratification. Don't seek instant rewards. The Stoics believed that true pleasure comes from mastering desires, not indulging them. When you practice self-control, you gain power over your impulses. You become the master of your life. Self-discipline is not about punishment or harshness. It's about self-respect and self-love. When you are disciplined, you honor your goals and values. You become someone you can rely on. This builds self-confidence and inner peace. Seneca said, "It is a rough road that leads to the heights of greatness." The path of self-discipline is not easy, but it's worth it. It leads to freedom, success, and fulfillment. When you control yourself, nothing outside of you can control you. In the end, self-discipline is about becoming the best version of yourself. It's about living with purpose, intention, and integrity. It's about choosing growth over comfort, purpose over pleasure, and excellence over mediocrity. The next time you feel the urge to procrastinate or give in to temptation, remember Epictetus's words. Difficulties are things that show a person who they are. Every act of discipline is a step toward greatness. Choose wisely. This is the Stoic way. Habit 9. Avoiding discomfort or challenges. One of the biggest mistakes people make is avoiding discomfort or challenges. It feels easier to stay in your comfort zone, but this habit keeps you from growing. The Stoics knew that facing difficulties is necessary for strength and wisdom. They saw challenges as opportunities to learn and improve. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The obstacle is the way." This means that the difficulties you face are not roadblocks. They are the path to greatness. When you avoid discomfort, you also avoid growth. You miss out on experiences that could make you stronger and wiser. Imagine an athlete who never pushes their limits. They will never improve. The same is true for life. If you always take the easy way out, you become weak and unprepared for life's challenges. Seneca warned, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." Just as your muscles grow by facing resistance, your mind grows by facing challenges. Avoiding discomfort also leads to fear and anxiety. When you run away from challenges, they seem bigger and scarier. But when you face them, you realize they are not as bad as you thought. The Stoics believed that fear is often worse than the thing you fear. Epictetus taught, "Man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems." By avoiding discomfort, you let fear control your life. Think about it. How often do you avoid a difficult conversation because you don't want to feel awkward? How often do you avoid taking a risk because you are afraid of failure? Every time you avoid discomfort, you choose short-term relief over long-term growth. You limit your potential. You play it safe, but you also play it small. The Stoics believed in facing discomfort to build courage and resilience. They practiced voluntary discomfort to train their minds. For example, they would eat simple foods, sleep on the floor, or wear plain clothes to remind themselves that they could handle discomfort. This practice helped them stay strong in difficult times. Seneca said, "Set aside a certain number of days, during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, that it is the condition of peace of mind to be never dependent upon the future." By choosing discomfort, they freed themselves from the fear of it. Challenges also teach you valuable lessons. They show you your strengths and weaknesses. They teach you patience, persistence, and problem-solving. If you avoid challenges, you miss these lessons. You miss the chance to become wiser and stronger. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What stands in the way becomes the way." This means that the very thing you are avoiding is the thing that will help you grow. Avoiding discomfort also affects your confidence. When you always take the easy way out, you start to doubt yourself. You lose trust in your abilities, but when you face challenges and overcome them, you prove to yourself that you are capable. This builds confidence and courage. You become more prepared for future challenges. To break this habit, start by changing your mindset. See discomfort and challenges as opportunities, not threats. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What can I learn from this?" This shift in perspective changes everything. It turns setbacks into stepping stones. Also, start practicing voluntary discomfort. Try waking up earlier, taking cold showers, or doing something that scares you. These small acts of discomfort build mental toughness. They teach you that you can handle more than you think. They prepare you for bigger challenges in life. Remember, growth and comfort do not coexist. If you want to grow, you must be willing to get uncomfortable. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Do not indulge in dreams of having what you have not, but reckon up the chief of the blessings you do possess, and then thankfully remember how you would crave for them if they were not yours." This teaches you to appreciate what you have while striving for more. In the end, avoiding discomfort is avoiding life itself. Life is full of challenges, uncertainties, and changes. You cannot avoid them forever, but you can face them with courage and wisdom. The Stoics believed that true strength comes from facing what you fear, not running from it. Epictetus said, "Difficulties are things that show a person who they are." When you face discomfort, you discover your true strength. You grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. So, the next time you feel the urge to avoid discomfort, remember that it is the path to greatness. This is the Stoic way. Habit 10. Fearing change and uncertainty. Many people fear change and uncertainty. It feels safer to stay in familiar situations, even if they are not good for you. But by fearing change, you limit your growth. Life is always changing, whether you like it or not. The Stoics understood this and taught the importance of accepting change. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Change is nature's delight." He saw change as a natural part of life, not something to fear. When you fear change, you hold on to things that no longer serve you. It could be a job you hate, a toxic relationship, or old habits that keep you stuck. You stay in your comfort zone because it feels safe. But comfort zones are prisons. They keep you from exploring new opportunities and discovering your true potential. Epictetus reminded us, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." If you resist change, you create suffering. If you accept it, you find peace. Fearing change also leads to anxiety. You worry about the future and what might go wrong. But the future is uncertain for everyone. No one can control it. The Stoics taught that worrying about the future is pointless because it takes away your peace in the present. Seneca wisely said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Most of the things you worry about never happen, yet by fearing change, you create mental pain that isn't real. Think about it. How often do you resist change because you are afraid of failure? How often do you avoid new opportunities because you are scared of the unknown? When you fear change, you also fear growth. You limit yourself to what you already know. But growth happens outside your comfort zone. Marcus Aurelius observed, "Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight." He saw change not as a loss, but as a transformation. The Stoics believed that everything in life is temporary. Nothing lasts forever, neither happiness nor pain. By fearing change, you fight against the flow of life. But when you accept change, you find freedom. You learn to adapt and grow with life's changes. This mindset makes you resilient and strong. Epictetus taught, "The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best." This includes being comfortable with changes in relationships and situations. Change is also an opportunity for new beginnings. When one door closes, another opens. But if you fear change, you never see the new door. You stay stuck in the past. You miss out on experiences that could bring you joy, wisdom, and growth. Seneca said, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." By embracing change, you allow new possibilities into your life. To stop fearing change, start by changing your mindset. See change as an opportunity, not a threat. Instead of asking, "What if everything goes wrong?" ask, "What if everything goes right?" This simple shift in perspective changes how you feel about uncertainty. It turns fear into excitement. Also, practice letting go. The Stoics taught that nothing truly belongs to us, not our possessions, not our relationships, not even our own bodies. Everything is temporary. By letting go of attachments, you free yourself from the fear of losing them. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Receive without pride, let go without attachment." This wisdom teaches you to enjoy life's gifts without being enslaved by them. Remember, the only constant in life is change. You cannot control it, but you can control how you respond to it. The Stoics believed that true strength comes from adaptability. They taught that resilience is not about resisting change, but about flowing with it. Epictetus said, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." When you accept change, you find peace. By facing change and uncertainty with courage, you grow stronger and wiser. You learn to trust yourself and the journey of life. You become more resilient and adaptable. And most importantly, you free yourself from the chains of fear. This is the Stoic way. We've explored 10 anti-Stoic habits that hold you back in life. These habits keep you stuck, limit your growth, and drain your inner peace. But the good news is that you have the power to change them. The Stoics believed that while you cannot control everything in life, you can control your actions, thoughts, and reactions. This is where your true power lies. As Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." By removing these habits, you take control of your life and find freedom. Think about it. How much better would your life be if you stopped complaining about things you can't control? What if you stopped seeking approval from others and started validating yourself? Imagine how much peace you'd feel if you stopped overthinking the past or worrying about the future. The Stoics taught us that most of our suffering comes from within, from the stories we tell ourselves. By changing those stories, you change your life. Breaking free from these habits is not easy, but it is possible. It starts with awareness. You need to catch yourself when you fall into these traps. When you feel the urge to compare yourself to others or react emotionally to criticism, pause, take a deep breath, and remember Marcus Aurelius's wisdom. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This simple reminder shifts your focus back to what you can control, your own mind. Another key step is to practice self-discipline. The Stoics saw self-discipline as the path to freedom. They understood that without self-control, you become a slave to your impulses and emotions. Seneca said, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." By challenging yourself and stepping out of your comfort zone, you grow stronger and more resilient. You learn to face discomfort with courage and calmness. Letting go of fear is also essential. Fear of change, fear of uncertainty, and fear of failure all keep you stuck. But life is full of change and uncertainty. It's how you respond that matters. The Stoics taught that fear is often just an illusion created by the mind. Most of the things you worry about never happen. Marcus Aurelius advised, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. You have the power to change your perspective and free yourself from fear. By removing these anti-Stoic habits, you open the door to a more peaceful, resilient, and fulfilling life. You learn to accept things as they are without trying to control them. You learn to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting emotionally. And most importantly, you learn to find contentment within yourself. This is the essence of Stoicism. As we end this journey through the 10 anti-Stoic habits, remember that change doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, effort, and patience. But every step you take towards self-mastery is a step towards freedom. Epictetus reminded us, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. The choice is yours. To end with the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. The time for excuses is over. The time for change is now. Choose to be better, and you will live a life of purpose, peace, and strength. The Stoic way. If you found these Stoic tips helpful, make sure to like this video, share it with someone who might need it, and subscribe for more content like this. Your support means a lot. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.